The first thing we're going to work on is what we call the settling maneuver for all of your life. We want to be able to give you the capacity and ability to settle your mind and settle your body anywhere, at any time, in any circumstance. This goal of having the ability to control your mind in all circumstances is the goal from which all of athletic sport is based. It's when you need to have the mind just right for the shot. You need to have the mind just right for this, at the right circumstance, at the right time. And the key component of having the mind just right is that the mind is relaxed, calm, and present. Saying relaxed, calm, and present is easier than doing it. So I'm going to teach you a simple way that you can stay relaxed, calm, and present in any circumstance, and I'll teach you how to do it in such a way that nobody will notice you doing it. We can't sit in cross-legged meditation position in the line at the grocery store, can we? We can't do a deep yogic pose in the grocery store without attracting quite a bit of attention, and we certainly can't do Tai Chi in the grocery store without people noticing what you're doing. The fact of the matter is that these cross-training systems are really designed for giving you the peace of mind when you're not doing those activities. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through the ChuteChi opening maneuver, and this is the opening move for the ChuteChi form. I don't do any martial applications. Everything I do is healing. It's about increasing your energy systems. It's about making whatever you do more efficient. This maneuver right here is famous within the Tai Chi and Qi Gong world, and you've seen it probably in many videos. How I do it is a little bit differently than some, or it might be the same as others. So try to let go of any of your preconceived notions of what this move is while we go through this, because this opening maneuver exists at the beginning of Tai Chi Chuan and other types of forms that are popular. As you can see, I've also included a little bit of a rock to my mover, and the ability to move yourself back and forth during the move has benefits, but I'm going to time that for you in just a second so you get to see how that works. But the idea is that we're just gently opening and closing the energy pathways for just a moment. Open. Letting them flow. So the system that I teach is based on circulating patterns of external and internal Qi. What you're seeing right now, visually, is a method to move those patterns in a specific way. So I'm going to now describe how I'm moving those patterns, and I'm actually feeling it at the same time. The energy goes up the back and down the front. The energy goes up the back and down the front. The energy goes up the back and down the front. Up the back and down the front. As the energy goes up the back and down the front, join me in a breath. As our breath synchronizes with this movement, it sounds something like this. When I'm breathing out loud like this is for you to hear the pattern, not for you to imitate the sound, but to hear the breathing pattern and how it's functioning. One more time. One more time with the breath. One more time, and then we're going to finish with cross hands. Each palm faces one another. Each palm is a little less than an inch apart, and you're about an inch away from the lower abdomen. Elbows are out, and there's a little bit of pocket in your armpit. There's an energy pathway that goes into the underarm area, and there's a very strong falun, or rotating wheel of energy that exists at the lower abdomen where my hands are crossed. I'm going to show you how to activate that with a move in just a moment. But I'm enjoying this too much. I'm getting too much positive energy returned to my body right now. So I'm going to just take a moment to enjoy that for about another minute. And then I'm going to notify you that we're going to move our arms in a way that activates the wheel at the lower abdomen. Join me now in turning the falun. Energy goes up right now, and we're going to use the advantages of that energy going up a little later in the class. But right now we're going to return to the opening maneuver, where we open and close. And things are going to change during this opening and close sequence, in that I'm going to be reducing the degree of the movement, very subtly at first. But if you just pay a tiny bit of attention, you realize that the move is getting more and more subtle as I do it. It's that subtlety that we're trying to cultivate. Cultivate a mind of subtlety right now. That it doesn't take a gross consciousness to do anything, just a subtle consciousness. You may breathe or not breathe during this exercise. The key is to experience it in its fullest and have that manifestation maintain as you go into more subtle moves. Watch. Join me and enjoy. Perhaps we can have some music to enjoy this process. Getting a little bit subtler now. getting a little bit subtler now. Up and back, down in front, deep Qi Gong flow, up and back, down in front, deep circulation of energy, up and back, down in front, up, down, up, down. Even subtler with just the wrists. With just one hand. Up and back. Down in front. I'm going to start moving. You do not. Because I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to have peace of mind at any place, at any time. So you're doing your normal business, walking around as you do. Little anxiety, something's bothering you, watch my wrist. Who saw that in the grocery store? Who saw that at work? Who saw you calm your mind? Get your Qi flowing and improve your attitude for others. Everything in Tai Chi and Qi Gong is about subtle energy, because Qi itself is subtle energy. It's not gross energy. It's not the type of energy that you use when you're thinking through a math program. It's something where the body is letting itself manifest its energy. And that manifestation of energy is how you control your feelings and emotions, because that Qi in itself is a communicative representation of your emotions and your feelings and other physiological states. This is why traditional Chinese medicine relies upon it as a way to heal the body, because the Qi can do anything when you understand what it can and how to use it. So our first move today, and if you decide to check out of your class today from just that one move, then I hope you enjoy it and use it each day, because that subtle opening move can be your entire practice for years. The process of moving your energy down the body and then back up the body in a continuous circulation, so it comes over and over and again, has its own specific pattern. And now the second move that we're going to learn is a Qi Gong super move that does everything. It separates the right side of the body from the left side of the body. It separates the top part of the body from the lower part of the body. It separates the front of the body from the back of the body. It gives all of the necessary energy pathways and channels an opportunity to open and flow. ChuteChi Gong is about channels that actually flow. This is not about static Qi. This is about a flowing dynamic system of continuous Qi movement that functions independent of whether or not you're doing the moves. If you do the moves well enough, long enough, and with enough positive intent, you'll find that the Qi begins to flow independent of the moves. This is where the actual mechanisms that are being placed into your system begin to function independent of your exercises. So you actually get to a point where you can practice less and still grow as a practitioner. And I'm going to show you one of those moves that does that. And this is called the Heavenly Circle. I'm going to talk to you while I describe this to you initially, and then we're going to do it really quiet, where we're just going to concentrate on the feelings that the move creates. But while I'm demonstrating to you, I'm going to move around and be dynamic. Please don't move around while I'm doing this, because you're going to see what I'm doing behind me. But I think with just a little bit of time, you can understand that we're creating a pattern of energy around the body with this move. Is that the palms themselves are driving an energy pattern into the system, so that the energy pattern will exist independent of the move. You can feel that these patterns exist while you're doing the move, and when you stop the move, sometimes you can still feel the energy circulating along those patterns. That would be your goal. I'm going to turn around now so you can see what's going on behind me. The energy goes up the back, up the back, up the back, and then the hands are clamped. This closing of the hands stops the energy, and then it reignites it when the hands meet. The reason is that there is no energy pattern from here to here, but there is an energy pattern once the hands are on their point. This moving around and activity that you're seeing is not how you do it. This is how I demonstrate it, so that you can understand the potential of this movement as a dynamic tool, as an athlete, for all of your activities. For instance, I play golf. I teach golf, and this is what this move is, adjusted for golf. These are the basic movements of the golf movement that can be simplified and modified into a full twist movement that looks something like this. These twisting and dynamic aspects of this movement mean that your energy pathways are available to you during dynamic movement. Because we all don't move really slow all the time, especially sitting at the office or in our athletic sports. We want to prepare for very fast movement. Sometimes our athletic sports require explosive movement. These patterns allow the body to explode and move extraordinarily quick from them. This is why the martial artists spent so many years working on Qi Gong and Tai Chi as a cross-training system for their fighting arts. Because the reason why you get incredibly fast and quick with Tai Chi and Qi Gong pattern movements is that you have available to you something called deep differentiated muscular relaxation. In other words, for you to make a movement, it either is going to take a very few muscles to make a movement, or you're going to use too many muscles to make the movement, and that slows it. Qi Gong creates differential muscular relaxation at an incredible level. So when you're doing these movements, even when I'm making dynamic movements, these movements themselves are done in deep relaxation with the least amount of muscular tension. The goal is to do 9 of these. I say this is a goal because I'm talking to you and teaching. And as a teacher, I make mistakes and I lose count from time to time. And if I do, I apologize. But we're going to try to do 9 right now. I'm at 2. And I'm going to stop talking on the 3rd iteration of these so we can just have the music and the movement to experience it. There's a whole series of movements in association with the bending down. It's best to start the waist first and then the knees, but sometimes I start with the knees and then the waist, because repetition and fatigue and other factors determine the form itself. So when your master is showing you these movements, I try to remind you of times when the movement's at its purest. And if you've detected any variation in how I've done these, etc., my apologies to my students. My goal is to be consistent each time. But I'm going to now do a move at what I consider to be the highest level of precision. My hands stay approximately 3.5, 4 inches away from the body, facing the body the entire time. Clamp with hollow fists with no energy pathways. And now here's a perfect move for you to remember. I'm going to do one more repetition. I'm going to cross our hands, return the energy back to the body. And I'm going to stop talking for a moment. I'm not going to talk during this. I will keep count, but I'm not going to talk. We're going to go through another series of Heavenly Circuit Qi Gong moves. Please join me now. One more and we stop. There are many, many instructions, far beyond what I've currently gone over. Please come back for more classes as I dole out information as necessary. But the point is that I can either talk a lot or we can move a lot. But each one of these moves and each one of these lessons can have paragraphs of discussion. I want you to tune in to ChuteChi Kong and move your body, calm your mind, and achieve something first. Intellectual growth can happen at any time, but there's only one time you get a chance to practice with your teacher, and this is now. So take advantage of that and practice with me. So one of the ways to practice with me is to feel the same type of things that I feel. And one of the ways that you can do that is by gaining a deep state of rapport with your teacher. Now, I'm moving casually right now in a conversational style like we were talking to one another at the grocery store. You could pace back and forth with me and be part of that conversation. And if I'm standing totally still, you could stay still. This is rapport. It's a mirroring process. If your eyes are good enough, you can pick up how my chest rise and fall and breathe with me. You can pick up how my eyes blink, the twitches and movements, and mimic those subtly. Because when we're all moving together, we're generating a particular type of shared Qi. And that shared Qi is concentrated through your focal point at that time. In most cases, it's the teacher. But for that gift, and for you doing that, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you a type of energy pathway in your hand that'll be very valuable that you can use during our next series of movements. All you got to do is hold up your hand like this. Hold up your hand like this. Hold your hand like that. Keep it there. Keep it there. Take that hand, place it in front of the lower abdomen, cover it with the other hand. So we're filling the lower abdomen with Qi. This entire area right here becomes a storage unit for Qi that you use during the day. Ever wondered why people get tired of playing chess? They're not doing anything. They're sitting right there. They're moving their arms. There's no energy, not much calorie usage, but you can't play chess for 10 hours a day. People can't concentrate that long. There's not enough energy. You can't really do anything, even sit there for 10 hours, unless you have an energy resource that you can use, a relaxing cauldron of energy that you can call upon to keep you calm and relaxed under any circumstance. So if each morning you do the exercises that you see, you cross your hands and you fill your lower abdomen with Qi, then you have energy for the day that'll get you through the tough times. That'll get you through the difficult times. It'll be just like chess when you know there's just one more move to do, but you got it. You've got the energy for you, because failure in some cases is just lack of effort. I'm a tennis professional, and the idea of playing tennis with the last possible ball, even if you're losing and in the last possible ball, you're still putting every effort and energy into your shot. That requires Qi. That requires what we call heart. So there's different chakras. We got a chakra down here. This is where we're building this cauldron of Qi, but we have heart too. That's the heart chakra, and this is the chakra that has to do with feelings towards others, with compassion, with understanding emotional issues in yourself and others. And I'm going to show you a fun way to open your heart chakra. But first, we're going to open the throat chakra, because this is what the pattern is initially designed for. But in order to understand this pattern, you have to understand something called the microcosmic orbit, or the ChuteChi microcosmic orbit. What that is, and I'd like you to join me with this, take one hand and put it about 4 inches in front of your body, move it down the center line of your body, to leave it to the center line, and around the back, lift up, and then reach over and come around. So it looks a little bit like this. Simple move, but what it is like a track, a pattern that goes through the center of the body, up the back, down the front, or it can go up the front and down the back. This orbit, this circulation goes underneath the legs, is responsible for the Kundalini awakenings. The idea of opening the lower chakras happens as a result of this pattern and this pattern alone. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this pattern's understanding with a Qigong move to open up your heart chakra. But we're going to start with opening the throat chakra first. And it goes something like this. As you can see, my wrists are turning at a certain point, aren't they? As I concentrate Qi, flip it at the throat. And now I'm going to change where my wrists flip to lower, where my lower abdomen is. At the lower abdomen. At the lower abdomen. At your heart. At your heart. At your heart. At your forehead. At your forehead. At the top of your head. At the top of your head. At the top of your head. At the back of your head. Cross hands. So we're going to go through that pattern one more time. We're going to open various chakras. We're going to return that energy back to the body. And we're going to maintain that energy through a continuous circulation, up and front, down and back. Then, of course, that can reverse to down and front and up and back. Through the center of the body, over the top of the head, down between the legs and up the back. Ready? To the throat. to the lower abdomen. To the heart. Forehead. To the top of the head. To the back of the head. And cross hands. Stay where you are. I'm going to move. We're going to go to our next move. And this is designed to improve your eyesight, to improve your vision. This is designed to open all the chakras in association with your head. This is designed to get the energy flowing very powerfully in a particular direction, in and out through your eye and facial area. Similar to what I'm going to do it once so you can see it and then join me. But we're going to start with a wider stance and we're going to gather a big armful. And we're going to move it up in front of the body and then out. Last one, finishing cross hands. Now that our eyes are working so good, we're going to add meditative movement to the Qi Gong Class. We'll stay here just a little bit longer to recharge those Qigong batteries. But then we're going to be doing some movement. Movement involves weight being on one side of the body and weight being on the other side of the body, the yin and the yang. Yin. Okay. So, in order to take the subtleties, the relaxation, the muscular differential athletic potential of what you just created standing and move that into the flow of Tai Chi-like movement means that you can take the dynamic benefits of this process and move it with you into your daily life. So the idea of having flow available to you, just one wrist movement away, gives you the ability to go through the movements of your life, present, relaxed, so I like to start with some circling. I have circled a lot. I'm a lazy circler in that sometimes my form isn't so important. Other times I'm a very good circler where my form is important. The pace of my circling and how I do these circling has been repeated so many times that I get effects from even the most casual effort at circling. The instructions on how to do this and the details necessary to get this completely perfected takes a little bit longer than I'm willing to put in today. But right now we got a very easy way for you to become an expert circler. And that has to do with understanding how your wrists perform in movement. Watch my left wrist. Watch my right wrist. These movements, the wrist is at vertical to the ground. If we keep the wrist vertical to the ground during the entire circling movement, it creates an automatic flow that forces the body to follow the wrist at right angles to the ground, vertical to the ground. So that any movement of the wrist beyond that is felt. The reason why we did an eye exercise before we circled is that one of the key instructions to good circling is to have the eyes on the horizon, which in this case would be a dot on the wall at right around the height of my eyes. So I'm going to center myself on that spot with my eyes, and I'm going to walk back and forth with easy circling motions and keep my eyes on that line. This is not competition form circling, nor is this competition form movement, but this is the rough movement that we're going to get deeper with. And we're going to get good at this, and it's going to look different once we get good at it. But I'm stepping to the side with a purpose and in full balance. I'm picking the foot up in full balance. The movement itself is a manifestation of balance. The competition form methodology has a deep and rich flow, and it looks something like this. So now we're going to do some Qi Gong walking, which consists of walking a straight line and then walking backwards in that straight line and doing so in balance. I'm walking out of balance to show you that with stiff legs and hips that are too tight, you might have a difficult time doing this. So the idea is to work the hips into a suppleness where the position of the body is dynamically controlled through the position of the hips. And that the balance that comes from having supple hips will allow you to do these simple steps back and forth. We'll have 6 steps, and it looks something like this. Breathe with me. Back into circling. Breathe. So we just had an opportunity to go through casual movement to ritual movement to flow movement. Casual movement and flow movement are related, and you can use that relationship to improve the quality of your life at any time you want. You can practice at any moment. You can be sitting in the grocery store and calm the mind. You can be walking with your friends and take a purposeful step. You can take a moment during the day with mindfulness to remind you that there's another way to be in the flow, to be with Qi, to be with ChuteChi, to be with me. I hope you come back. Hope you enjoyed this class. Hope it was something that you really thought was worthwhile doing. I will continue to promote these classes and generate, more promotion and have opportunities for you to participate in ChuteChi both on a local level and on a internet level. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is matt@chute.name. And I think at any time that you remember who you're talking to is Matthew Chute, I've got matt@chute.name. Easy way to keep track of ChuteChi. ChuteChi Golf Cross Training. I'm also the Climate Buddha on Facebook. I do quite a bit of work for climate change. Love to have you involved in all aspects of what I'm doing, and I certainly hope that my Qi Gong and Tai Chi class today benefited you. Check back here for more classes in the future. Really appreciate your time.